ATP, I'm just gonna assume that you can see me because the way my camera don't want to record for me is ridiculous. So we're just gonna jump into it. Salutations, daydreaming stargazers. If you clicked on this video, that means baby, you found my spaceship. I am Josephine, your favorite sexual auntie, quiet as is kept. In honor of the beautiful women of color who come before us humbly, I open my vessel. Okay. Spaceship protocol requires that you kick your shoes up at the threshold, drop any carry-on luggage at the baggage claim, like and comment below how TT is out here whipping his ship. Look, if you attended a previous flight and the story time gave you a little whiplash, had your neck hurting, you was confused, you didn't understand what the plot was, let me know. Drop in the comment section below. If you felt like you could relate, drop in the comment section below. I'm really here for you all right? And before we jump into our flight, I really just want to take some time and welcome our new crew side members, y'all. How come it seemed like overnight I went from having like a smooth 25 of us, right? It was like 25, 27 of us in here strong. You know what I'm saying? Time and time again. And now, y'all, I am over 1,000 subscribers. Yes. So, y'all make some room for the new members. So, for all my crew side steppers, all my crew side cuties, please make space. Also, I want to do a little social experiment. In the comment section below, I would like for you to drop down what city and state you reside, right? And if you find people who are in the same city and or state that you are in, slide into their DM. You know what I'm saying? Check out their page if they have a channel. Make a new friend. All right. I feel that we are at a point right now where we need a little bit more community out here. Okay. TT can only do so much. Okay. TT can only do so much. So connect with each other. Uh, add each other to your pages, you know what I'm saying? And if you have a channel that you're really trying to focus engagement on, drop in the comment section your favorite emoji and let's all connect. You feel me? I hope that this is a safe space for you to feel comfortable to meet new people safely. All right, true crime has told TT one thing: you can't be too nice, but still try. Okay, still try. But yeah, with that being said, y'all, I just want to take this time and just say thank you. Thank you for coming and kicking with your TT. All right. My main goal is to get enough interaction, likes, subscriptions, right? So that TT can buy a spaceship and get us out of this ghetto mess. Okay, baby, I'm trying to get us out of the stratosphere. And that takes interaction, right? Now, look, if I start sweating up in this mug, look, look. I got some complimentary towels. I'm here at the Virgin Hotel out here in Dallas, Texas. And in the bathrooms, I might drop some little snippets, a little B-roll from the establishment. Y'all in the bathrooms, they have complimentary towels. I took a few. I'm not ashamed, but I just want you to know I took a few because I just knew I was going to be sweating. I just knew I was going to do this all day. And I did. And I'm using them. So I digress. But yeah, I just want to take this time to really thank you guys for coming to kick it with your TT. That's it. That's all. I know I'm taking a lot of time up. Let's go ahead and hop into our flight. Now, if you've had the opportunity to check our itinerary, you already know we're headed, y'all. We're headed to an era. We are headed to an era of overheated radiators, y'all. No heat in the wintertime, no AC in the summertime, y'all. We're headed to our first cars, the lemons, the breast buckets that held us in our heart of hearts. Okay, if you had a car like I had for my first round, it makes you humble. Okay, it makes you humble. You start to get a little experience under your belt. So let's hop into our story, shall we? Now, y'all, I know it's been taking me a while to really get, hold on, let me make sure, to really get through this series. And I thank you guys for still having patience with your TT. This episode, this flight. So I promise you, after this flight, We probably gonna do one more in this car series so we can just close this chapter and move on. Okay. I was a little ambitious on how I originally wanted to do the car series, but my posting and dropping schedule was not consistent enough to maintain it. So we just gonna finish this one out and then go into something different. Okay. So I digress. Let's keep it going, right? Now, like I said, if you had the opportunity to really follow what's going on in this car series, I actually stole the car on accident. Um, I had to pay a lot of money to get out of uh, debt with my mom and them. You feel me? I had to do a lot to get where we are right now. So at this point in the game, TT been working for at least a year and some change, maybe two at this point, maybe three. Okay, I'm a hardworking young lady. Okay, I have saved up enough money to get my first car, y'all. I have saved enough money officially to get my first car, y'all. And let me tell you how that went. Right now, if you have a mom like I have a mom, she's very meticulous. She wants to measure twice and cut once, right? And then she had a daughter like me who just cut. Yeah, I measured, figuratively speaking, but we're just gonna chop it up. We're gonna glue sticker and tape and glitter it up. We're gonna reinvent it and then make it something new. That's literally how I live my life. And my mama, a lot of the times, be like, "Baby, you said you was gonna do A, B, and C. How did we get to one, two, three?" And I'll be like, "Mommy, I thought I told you I had inspiration the other day. You should have known." Right. So this is the type of dynamic me and my mom have. And when I tell you I stress this woman out so bad, like we haven't even scratched the surface on my audacity. We really haven't. I'm really trying to kiddie pull y'all, like walk y'all into it, because when I tell y'all your girl was trifling, I was trifling with the big T. Okay? With the big T. But I digress. So, of course, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with this whole car purchasing. I thought all I needed was like a couple $100 and be done. No, ma'am. And I had about 15. Give or take on a good day, I had about 1,500. So I thought $1,500, they're gonna give me a car. They're gonna see this $1,500 and they're gonna be like, "This car is yours." Y'all, they did not do that. I called around to a couple places since I didn't have any uh, credit. I didn't have any lines of credit. I had a job, but I'm working at Sonic. So really, is it a job? Shout out to all of my service providers. I understand how difficult it is. Look, I done every job under the sun. I have been a server. I have been a Lyft driver. I've worked in hospitality, y'all. I was working at a warehouse a couple times. Like, y'all, when I say I didn't have some very interesting jobs, I have had some very interesting jobs. Okay, but I digress. Please don't ever think that I am here to undermine or disrespect somebody's profession. TT understand, all right? And I have nothing but the utmost respect for my hardworking individuals. Look, I get it. But just know, with my Sonic money, they was not trying to give me a car at a dealership. Let's just say that. And my mama, she was not about to co-sign for me either. I think she saw it on me though. I think she saw the spirit of irresponsibility on me and was like, "Baby, I'm not co-signing a now, another, nothing for you. You either got to save it up, or try and get you some credit." Why my mama hit me with the "baby, you need to go ahead and find you some credit"? I was like, what does that even mean? That used to be one of the things she used to say all the time. Like, "Baby, you just got to find you some credit. You got to find you some this, find you some that." And I'm like, now how do I go about doing that? But anyway, so I digress, right? So like I said, I had money. I had $1,500, give or take 100. And so my mom, like after I talked to a couple dealerships, went up to a couple dealerships, and they had the audacity to tell me that I had to have double what I had on me. They were like, "Yeah, you got 1500, we could get you in a car for 3 bands. And we can stretch it for 2.5. 2500, we can get you in something. It ain't gonna be what you want, but it'll be something that gets you to and fro. But three, that's the sweet spot. And I'm like, baby, I'm not about to sit here for another however long it's gonna take for me to double this amount. So then my mom was like, okay, well, if you're not trying to go a legal dealership route, not legal, but like a legitimate dealership route, then your best bet is a tote to note. And she was like, now, baby, if you do a tote to note, if you do a tote the note, you are going to have to do one or two things. One, you're going to have to search Google high and low, and then you're going to have to call, well, actually, three things, I guess. Like scan the screen. And I called like the first three. That's it. I did zero research. So, all right, let's do this. We're not quitters here. We're procrastinators, but we're not quitters. All right. Around this time, it's smooth senior year. I didn't saved up enough money to get my first car. Now, mind you, I don't know nothing about the car process. Not at all, not even a little bit. So when I'm talking to my mom, I'm like, I didn't saved up about 1500, da da da, boo boo. I'm ready. So we went to a couple dealerships and they were like, ooh, sorry, sweetie, because you don't have any car credit or any credit in general, it's worse than you having bad credit because we don't know what type of time you on, shawty. So essentially they were like, you're gonna at least need five to 1,000 more to get you in just, you know, factory level, like just to bear what we got up in the dealership. And I was impatient. I did not want to save up X amount more money. I got the money in my hands right now, right? So my mom's like, well, baby, if you can't get what you're looking for at a car dealership, you can go to a tote the note. But my mom, she been around the block. So she's like, if you're going to do a tote the note, baby, you need to make sure that you check all the boxes. You need to do your research. You need to call them, see what their down payment requirements are. You know what I'm saying? You need to do your research, check the reviews, and da 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 da, ba 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 ba. Child, did I listen to anything my mom said? No. What I heard is call, see if they're going to take your money, and then it's up and stuck. So that's exactly what I did, y'all. I went onto good old Google. I called like the first three spots. The first two were like, baby, you're gonna need at least two down, 2 bands down. I was like, I'm not doing that. And the final one that I called, because it did not take much for me to be discouraged, y'all. I was like, I'm calling one more place before I give it up. Um, so I call. So I call this one dealership. And for the purpose of this story time, we're gonna name this place Shiesty Sam's. Okay, hold on, let me get it together. We're gonna name this place Shiesty Samathins. Uh Scamming car dealership. Where you come, you give your money, and we gonna scam you on the spot, y'all. Look, we'll clean up the name of it as we talk, because sometimes my first round don't really work. But by the time we really start talking about this shisty ass man, I promise you we'll have a better name for his dealership. But Shisty Samuel. There we go. Um so the first two, I called them, and I wasn't in the room with my mom. I was in my room, and after they told me no, after that second one told me no, I kind of was giving up. So I was walking up to my mom, and I was like, Mom, I've tried all I can do. This isn't working for me. And she was like, baby, just call again. You call a couple more times, and we'll just take a break. Da da da, ba da boop. And so, like a promise kept, I dial up Shiesty Samson. And he answers like, hello, this is Shiesty Samuel. Hello, hello. This is Shiesty Samuel's car dealership. Uh if you got the money in your hand, baby, we gonna scam you. How can I help you today? Basically is what he said. Like red flags flying, just left and right and left. And I'm like, Hello, my name is Josephine, and start oversharing like a mug, y'all. I didn't told this man everything but my social security number over the phone. I told him how much I had. I told him this. I told him that. And by the time that he got off the phone, he was like, "Yep, yep. How much you said you had?" And I'm like, I got almost 1,500. He was like, "Well, you would look. Oh, you would look. That's exactly how much you need." And I'm just like, great, perfect. And mind you, I have it on speaker. And my mom side eyeing the mess out of me. Cause she was like, what's hold on. Cause I'm like, my mom also told me to try and negotiate. Like, don't just go with the asking price. See if you can negotiate the price. Da 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 da. None of that was had. I didn't even I didn't even allow the man to haggle me. I said, I got this amount. And he was like, and that's exactly what we need, baby. And I'm like, see, it's perfect, mom. It's perfect. Mind you, while I'm talking to this man, oversharing, giving damn near all my information, my mom's looking through like the reviews and everything, and she's just side eyeing me. And I'm like, it's fate, mommy. I'm ready. So of course, Shiesty Samuel wants me to come immediately that day. He's like, "You got the money in cash?" I was like, "Why, yes, Shiesty, Mr. Shiesty, I indeed have it all in cash. Do you take ones? You take singles, fives, and 20s?" He said, "Baby, we take quarters, nickels, and dimes too." Perfect. In my mind, is a match made in heaven. So my mom's like, "No, ma'am, we'll go this weekend." Rolls her eyes. She was like, "Okay, if this is the car lot you're going to choose, at least take your time with it and don't just get the first car that your eyes lay on." Keep that in mind, right? So, okay, time goes by and it's time to go to the dealership. And I'm using dealership quite loosely. Okay, quite loosely am I using the word dealership. Maybe it was a parking lot. It was a parking lot with a tent, y'all. It was a parking lot with a tent and one of them water coolers. You know, where you have the hot water and the cold water. That's exactly what it was. So anyway, we drive in forever and a day. Um, Now, mind you, I already told y'all I live in the burbs. We're going past the burbs, about 15-20 minutes to a place I ain't never heard of in my life, okay? It's called the outskirts. All right, we're gonna call this place nowhere to ever go. It's like a sundown town, y'all. Let's call spade a spade. It was giving sundown. It was giving I really only have an hour before I gotta get up out of here. Mind you, it's high noon. Clutching my pearls, y'all. So anyway, I digress. So we pull up to the parking lot, to the lot. We pull up to the lot. All the cars are in the grass. You know, they have like a ramp, and then they have some cars on the ramp. You know, they got a couple ramps, and there's like this outhouse. It's not an outhouse, but you know how they had those, like, you walk up the stairs and it looked like somebody just dropped the house on top of the stilts. That's what it was giving. The door didn't really open because it was stuck, but then once it was open, you couldn't close it back, baby. It was like it wouldn't close back. So it was like it was giving all that I truly needed to be very alarmed at where I was in this facility. But we're talking about your TT, all right? So moving on, right? So time goes on, and we're looking up and down the line. Now, in my price range, I told you I had 1,500. What I noticed was most of the cars on the lot were really like 18, 17, 1650, whatever, whatever. But y'all, I noticed a couple of the vehicles, they said 1,500, right? And I'm like, ooh, it's a couple vehicles that are 1,500. What I want to make sure I know is, you know how when people put paint, like when they write on the cars with like the car paint or whatever, the window paint, Shiesty Samuel didn't even completely remove the paint before he wrote a new number. Y'all, why he scratch out the last, instead of it saying like 1850, Why on a couple of them he just scratched out the 18 and the 5 and put 50, so that would say 1500. It was like, so that you believe me, 5 or 6 like that, where instead of it saying the original number at the top, he just xed it out and put the new number. So after I talked to this man, he probably went and looked at all his vehicles and was like, oh, let the finesse begin. I'm about to get baby girl for all her victuals, all her change, baby. So I'm looking high and low for all the ones that say 1500, where it says originally 1875 and now it's 1500 type vibes, right? And there were a couple decent ones, right? There was like this blue Ford Focus. It was cool or whatever, or like a Ford type Taurus type car. But for some reason, I wasn't feeling the color blue that day. So that you believe me, know that I am telling no lies. My mom was like, this one's perfect. It's under 75,000 miles. It's 1,500 down. You only have to pay da da bop 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 bop. And I looked at it and was like, oh, mommy, no, I would never be caught dead in a blue car. My mom seriously looked at me and was like, ma'am, I need for you to get it together. And I was like, dead A, mommy, because I'm not going to curse around my mommy. I'm not going to be like, dead ends, mom. But I'm like, no, for real, mommy. I can't drive it. Look, I can't get jiggy with this. It's blue. And it's not even like regular blue. It's like that electric blue. They're going to see me coming and going, mommy. I can't do it. So she's rolling her eyes. She's like, okay, Josephine, like, if not this one, what about this car? And I'm like, oh no, mommy, I don't like the seatbelts. It looks like a murder happened in here. Don't you see those splatters? That's weird. And she did notice that. She was like, And we asked Shiesty what happened to the car. We are like, hey, Shiesty Samuel, we noticed that there's like some specs in here. Can you give us some Carfax? And he did not want to do that. He got real shiesty about it. I bet my bottom dollar on there was a uh what do they call it? What's the code? 876, 856, something something, whatever. It was happened in that car, okay? Somebody got unalived in that bad boy. Ain't no way. And now that I think about it, this one was I think it was like 1550. So he really just bumped $50 off of it. You feel me? And I'm just like, I don't know about that. So keep going, keep going. And there was probably, it was really between the blue car that I just could not vibe with. And when I tell you, my eyes landed on this 1987-ish Hyundai Elantra with the roll-up windows. I'm talking about everything about this car was problematic, but it was so cute to me. It was super cute. I don't know what it was. Like, it had cute headlights, and the way that the rust on the car, please do not laugh at me when I say this. Now, mind you, the blue car had fresh paint. It was maybe 3 years old. It had the mileage was higher. It was like 90,000 miles, but for a first car, it was not too bad. It was between that one, the the uh the vehicle, the CSI vehicle, and then the car I ultimately chose, which was Dakota B. So hear me out. It was a green vehicle, right? And it was rusted. I know, I know, it was rusty. But the way that the green and the rust and the metal under the rust blended together, it was giving like a marble effect. You feel me? So it looked like a sagey, not sage, it was like an emerald green. I'm so serious when I say this. This is why I chose the car. Okay. The way that the rust, the green and the paint that was still there, and the way that the metal under the paint was given, it gave like a marble effect. It gave like a marble effect. And I was like, oh, it danced in my eyes. And right when I walked up to the vehicle, or walked up to my baby, let's just go ahead and claim her for what she is. Right when I walked up to my baby, the it was kind of like a partially cloudy day. The clouds parted and rays of sun just shined on my marble down, two-tone, three-tone baby girl. So I was like, I squealed. I was like, Mommy, this is the one. Now, mind you, we're in between the CSI vehicle, the blue one, which was a no go for me, and then my baby Dakota. My mom's like, she thought I came to my senses for the blue one because she knew darn well I was not about to be in. Right? Y'all, I was like, Mommy, I want this one. And I touched it. My mom looked me upside my head and was like, no, baby, I don't think this is a good idea. And I was like, Mommy, this is exactly what I want. Where is he? Um, Shiesty Samuel, can you come here? I want this one. Mind you, he too thought the same thing my mom. He was coming up to the blue car. I said, oh, God, no, I could never be caught dead in a blue car. I want this one. And he looked at it, looked at me, looked at it, looked at me, and was like, cool, that's it. You wanna test drive it? You wanna If you test drive, you can just go up the street and come back. I don't, mind you, he did not want me to drive on the highway with my baby Dakota. But at the same time, he was like, but you can go, up the street and come back around, da da da, bada boop. So that's exactly what I do. It's puttering, it's smoking, it's hot, it's coughing and hiccuping. And I'm like, it's been sitting for a while. It's just gotta get the juices flowing. Long story short, I buy the car. Okay, I buy the car. My mom's looking at me like, why did you do this? But it didn't matter. So fast forward, right? I am whipping in my baby. Now, let's say that the speed limit is 40. I can really go about 37 on a good day. Okay. So let's say that the speed limit is 60. I can give you about 49, 52. Okay. We're not getting all the way up to 60 miles an hour, but I can give you a smooth 55 after I didn't let her warm up some. You feel me? So when I tell you I was so proud of my baby, I was so proud of my baby. It didn't take much. It didn't take much for me to be like, I'm whipping now. Y'all can't tell me nothing. So fast forward. You know who's rolling with me? Who is my ace? Who is in the vehicle with me? Rain, sleet, or snow? My homegirl Keisha. Yes, ma'am. We didn't got our Letterman's jackets, and it is in the dead of winter at this point. Beforehand, I didn't realize that the AC didn't work and the heat didn't work, but the temperature was kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not thinking too much of it. Y'all, nothing worked. Just know that nothing truly worked. So I would pull up on her, skirt, give her a call. She'd come outside with her little Letterman's jacket on, and we would drive to school, puffs of our breath hitting the rigid cold air. Because at first I would think like if I let it run, it'll warm up. Learn the hard way. You can't do that. But also on the flip, you had to let the AC run or it would do something weird. It'd make the car shake. So it was on blowing ice cold air so that the car wouldn't shake while I'm driving. You feel me? And we're Letterman jacket down. Please also remember this Letterman jacket. Y'all, I feel like I have mentioned this a couple times now. So I need you to store in the back of your memory in your little index lexicon this Letterman's jacket, okay? If I have a picture, I will actually I do have a picture and I will provide it. Instead of putting my patches on this Letterman's jacket, y'all, I decided to customize the back. I had found a new medium. It was fabric paint. And instead of having just boring patches, I had glow in the dark paint and neon colors. My name, the year I graduated on my back. No one even fathomed doing no mess like that. But I was like walking around my Letterman's jacket, feeling myself. Okay. Feeling myself. So just remember that because when it comes to shisty individuals, y'all, I swear I'm a magnet. And also in my lifetime have been indeed shisty, but we're not talking about that right now. So I digress, right? Um, so it is not uncommon for me to pick my girl up, go to school, da 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 da. Now, of course, I did the friend tour. I pulled up sputtering and smoking to all my homies' houses and showed them the car. Of course, like my homegirl Keisha, she was 10 toes down. She was ready to. We was gonna pit her putt wherever we had to go, right? And like my homegirl Sunshine, she was like ecstatic for me. Now my homegirl Diamond, high key, my homegirl Diamond at the time was, I don't know, she was ragging on me something vicious. Yeah, I know it's a lemon. It's a bucket, but it's my bucket, baby. But it is what it is, you know. She was quick with the comebacks, right? So, you know, I pull up on her and she is laughing, ecstatic at how, not even ecstatic. She is open mouth cackling at this vehicle. But you know, like I said, like, is you gonna roll with your girl or not? A lot of times they was gonna roll with your girl, so it didn't matter. It didn't matter what Dakota Braylene looked like. It don't matter what Dakota B looked like. That was my baby. And that three-tone emerald green rust and metal marble slab she had going on was music to my ears, right? So fast forward. One particular day that I want to bring up pretty much was the beginning of the downfall of my little honeymoon phase with my vehicle, okay, with my baby. On this day, I ended up driving myself by myself, right? So I'm driving, and I'm driving, and the way to get to the school I was going to, you could go through like these really expensive neighborhoods, hit the back road, you know, and go down, 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 and you pull up right on the school, right? So I'm doing just that. I'm making my way downtown, walking fast, faces fast, and I'm homebound. Shabba-da-da-ba-da-da. Like, I am vibing. I got the windows down. It's a beautiful day out. And then out of nowhere, I start to smell a smell that's smelly. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but I'm like, should I be concerned right now? The answer is yes. I should be concerned because out of nowhere, my car started pitter puttering, and came to a complete stop. There's a plume of smoke coming from under the hood. And the little bit that I know about cars is that's hot. Okay, this is the first time that my car is truly overheating. That is hot. I can't touch it. So I'm sitting there, smoke high key, low key bellowing from up under my hood, right? And I'm just standing there looking confused as ever, right? So maybe, so that you believe me, 3 minutes later, 'cause I'm sitting here looking so confused. About 3 minutes later, this older white guy comes out and he's shuffling like with his New Balances on. You know what I'm talking about? His New Balances and his little crispy shorts and his little, you know what I'm talking about? He come out there with his dad glasses on. He's like, whoa, 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 what's going on? And instantly, I could see he was a dad because the level of concern on his face was daunting and concerning, y'all. He shuffles out there, whoa, 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 New Balances. I'm telling you, if this was linoleum, I'm telling you, if this was linoleum floor, he would have been skirting to me, boy. He come pitter patting out there to me. He's like, "Are you okay, ma'am? A little miss?" He called me a little miss. And it was like, I don't know what's going on. So he's looking at it, and by now the smoke has kind of subsided because I had turned the car and everything. Per his request, he's like, hey, turn this car off. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I do that, and he waits for it to cool down. He pops my hood up. He's looking like, you know how them dads be looking, hands on their shoulder, looking like this, just looking. And he looked at me because, of course, I got fresh tags on this bug. So he sees the fresh tags and he's just looking like this, right? And he's like, you just got this car? And I'm like, yeah, it's my baby. But she started smoking. I don't know what's going on. He was like, I'll be right back. He goes, gets this big thing of water, pours it in my radiator, cools it down, hissing. I'm talking about is what I assumed that sound was in my head. So anyway, so it finally comes to a cool. It cools down, and he's just trying to get some information on what's really going on here. And I'm like, "Well, I just bought this car from Shiesty Samuels, scammer, Shiesty Samuels car lot." And he's just looking at me like, "Oh, okay." So I was like, "I don't know what to do." He started asking me, he's like, "Okay, do you have someone that can come pick your car up? Like, can you do this? Can you do that?" And mind you, I'm on my way to school, and I'm like, "No, I can't do any of that." So I think this man felt so bad for me, and I'm oversharing once again. I'm telling him that I gave Shiesty Samuel all my money, and it was $1,500, and the sign really said 1550. Actually, I think this like 1600, but he marked it down to 1500 for me. Like, I'm frantic, and he's like, "Okay, whoa, whoa, whoa." So he shuffles back in his house, comes back, and it's like, "This is what I need you to do. Are you close? Do you live close?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do. I need you to drive as carefully as possible. Place your car, like, if you're close to home, I need you to go ahead and park your car." And he gave me $100 bill and was like, "Take you a cab. It'll be good. You should have enough for today and tomorrow, because it's like a Thursday." And I'm like, takes the 100, stuffs it in my pocket, and then I'm like, "Okay," snotting and stuff. What do I do, y'all? I don't do what that man told me. I scooter bug all the way to my school. And by the time I make it to the parking lot, it's smoking again. So I let it sit. No water. We don't add no extra water to it. I act like I don't see Nathan. And I put that little $100 away. And I shuffle off to class. What am I supposed to do? I am a literal child. I'm a fresh adult. Because I think I'm 18 at this point. I'm a smooth 18. I'm talking about uh uh the ridges on my brain, the ridges on my medulla are smooth, baby. So anyway, fast forward um that right there, because I got my notes right in front of me, y'all. That right there was the downfall. Okay, that right there was the downfall. And because of that, I should have known that I had to count my days with my baby. Anyway, so fast forward, right? Now, in this span of time, right before I purchased my vehicle, my homies would pull up on me. My home girl Sunshine, she had a station wagon. So it was not uncommon for her to pull up in the station wagon. We all load up and go wherever we was gonna go. Okay, we was up in that thing. So it was not uncommon, right? Uh but anyway, so it was not uncommon for my, like, I'm sorry, I'm distracted. So fast forward, one of my homies who is literally a lifelong friend, someone whose family was close with my family, and we were born like 2 days apart, y'all. So him and his people end up moving to the burbs. So he's going to our school. We start kicking it. He takes me to University. Now, I'm gonna have to bring this up at a later day. We're gonna have to really dive deep on the University saga, but just know it went down in the best and worst ways possible. While we're up there at the University campus, right? Um, I run into who will ultimately end up being my first boyfriend, right? But I still don't have a name for him yet. So we're just gonna say first boyfriend. For now, he's first boyfriend. And it was so funny. It was so stinking funny. I pulled up, like, we pulled up to University housing, right? We go inside the apartments, and if you know anything about like college style apartments, depending on the number of roommates you have, unless you have like a private suite, typically you'll have a Well, actually, it's depending. And this campus, if you had like a 4 bedroom, you shared a bathroom with your roommate closest to you. I think. Actually, I don't know. Let me not lie to you. Okay, don't listen to me. I'm confusing this housing for housing at the next campus I end up going to. So each bathroom had a private bath. Da 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 ba ba ba. So we pull up on his bro. Short story, very short story. We pull up on one of his bros, and he basically is like, "Look, Josephine, these ninjas are weird. All right. There's somebody here that I don't rock with, bop, 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 bop. And, I'm just letting you know ahead of time, like, we're going to be hanging out with my partner, but there might be other people there, da, 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 da. And me, like I've said plenty, many times, in one ear and out the other, we're about to go somewhere. We're about to get out the house. I don't care what's going on. We're going to have a good time. We get there, we pull up. I run into my first boyfriend. Boy, big old cassava melon, just a big old head, long body, big feet. And he had on like these goofy shades, whatever. And when I tell you, at the time, I was like, okay, what's up? And a part of me was ecstatic because he's a little older than me. So this is like an older guy. And boom. Ah, okay. I'm gonna have to be quick because I don't know how much time we have on this before it goes dead. I don't know where I left off other than I had met my first boyfriend. We're gonna name him Uno Reverse. And one thing that you need to know about Uno Reverse is he had the livest parties. Back in the day, University was a Wild Wild West. Okay, feel me? Like all kind of illegal activity. Boy, but your girl is green. I don't know anything about this, right? Hair flip. So, like I said, and this is funny because we're still, you know what I'm saying? But you could take the ninja out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the ninja. Apparently, I don't know, but whatever. Um, but like I said, he was known for parties. He was always having some of the livest parties in the triad. No, I'm just kidding, but it was super lit. So even though things did not pan out the way that I desired with that situation, and like I said, we'll talk about it another day. We still remain friends. So I was cool with him and his friends, and he was cool with me and my friends. And that was a problem all in itself. We're not gonna get into it, right? So long story long, like I said, we've been chopping it up. We didn't had a whole fling, da da da, ba da ba, ba da boo. Let's get to these notes though, right? So one day in particular, he was having a bash, y'all. Like it was supposed to be one of the bashes of the time, and some of my homegirls were gonna meet me up there because Uh, they was riding in the station wagon, or they was riding in the what was it? What did I say? Whatever type of vehicle, minivan. I think they was meeting us in the minivan, y'all. They was pull up skirt skirt. So because of that, I was like, "Well, Diamond, do you want me to come and get you?" Da da da, ba da boo. But she was like, "Yes, girl, come and get me." So I make the trek to Diamond's house. And one thing about my car is when you're going up and down the hills, it's momentum. So I ain't have to really do too much pedal work. I ain't have to step on the pedal too much. So I pull up on her, and I noticed that things were starting to get a little sticky with my baby Dakota because I can smell the smoke, but I don't see it yet. And I filled up with ice water. I gave my baby ice water before I left. So I'm thinking I got at least enough time to get to the function, let it cool down, throw some more ice water in that radiator, and make it back. Right? We get about 3/4 of the way there, and it's starting to putter. It's starting to putter. It's starting to smoke. It's starting to do everything but go forward. And in a panic, um, I pull over. I just pull over, and I'm not calling my parents because if I have to call my parents, guess what? They're going to pick me up and bring me to the house, and they're not dropping me off at the party. Okay, so I'm like, well, we're gonna have to let baby girl cool down. I've overexerted her. Maybe I didn't hit the right momentum at the top of the hill so I can coast down. Type vibes. That's really what I'm thinking. It was really roller coaster inertia in this mug. Um, so long story long, it takes a smooth minute because the car is not starting, y'all. It is not starting. It's hot. Is every time I try and turn the car on, it's smoking. Okay, one thing about my baby Dakota, she used to smoke like she had a pack a day Newport habit. Okay, that's why I never went the speed limit. I went always seven below. Five was too aggressive, and 10 was too obvious that something was wrong with my vehicle. I digress. So we're there for a while. Now, mind you, my other homegirls, they already made it. They throwing it in circles and triangles and geometrical shapes. Uh this is a type of party where you go with your little silk press and your little whatever, and you come out afro, sweat down. Okay, that's the type of party this is. And they're hitting us up like, where are you? All I hear is in the background. Okay, I can just tell that the YNs, now mind you, this is a time before the terminology YN. So understand that TT did not use this terminology back in the day, but literally I can hear the YNs. They're doing their big one. Okay. And I've been practicing my little twerking and a little slow winding. So I just knew I was ready to throw it. I was ready to throw it and I was waiting for someone to catch it. Now, am I just like that type of girl? No. To this day, not a twerker. But I'll give you a little this, I'll give you shoulders, I'll do a little hip one, you'll get just that from me, right? So this is a sticky situation. Okay, I'm in my notes right now. This is a sticky situation, and Diamond's not making it any better. Like, if y'all remember that time I told y'all that my homegirl, who is a masculine presenting woman who dates women, and how she stole my man, stole my little couple skate. Yeah, that episode. She took it, my thing. I don't remember what episode that was, but that one, you should know that my homegirl Diamond is gonna clown you. Okay, she's gonna give it to you, even if you didn't ask. Is there gonna be a solution? Is she gonna provide you with a solution? No. Is she gonna roast you to high hell? Yes. And that's exactly what she did. Talking hot cash money about my baby Dakota. While she's sitting here sweating and puffing and smoking, trying to get us to and fro, hither and thither. I was so upset. So, I'm talking, whatever, whatever. And by the time that it took for my baby to cool down enough for me to literally go up the street and around the corner, let's just say an hour has gone by. So everybody in there doing their big one for an hour, waiting for us to get there. So by the time we get there, she's irritated because she's like, ah, blah, blah, blah. But it's okay. I get it. I trusted you to get me to this party, and your car betrayed us. I get it. I get the sentiment, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm just kind of like, man, right? Long story long, y'all. We get there, it overheats to high heck and back. Don't you do it to me. Okay, I don't know when it went out, so just know by the time we got to this party, I feel like the momentum of the party had increased from the time that we heard about it, like an hour before. So when I say ninjas are spilling off the balconies, they're all across the top of the top floor. They're on the stairway. They all on the bottom. They're in the park. They're coming out. They're spilling out of other apartments, bro. It was so many people going in and out of this apartment. It was ridiculous, y'all. Hold on. Hello. We pull up basically smoking guns. Like the car is hot. We're hot because I ain't got no AC. It's just a hot mess, right? Pull up, car smoking, and of course there's a whole bunch of YNs outside with something to say. Damn, baby, you need some water? And somebody was like, no, she needs some milk. Shut up. Shut up. Mind your business. How about that? How about that? mind your business. So we get to the party. It was a vibe. It was definitely a vibe. Um, we're there. My car cools down. It took however long we were there, amount of time for my car to completely cool down and for us to shutterbug back to her house and then shutter back up the hill back to my house, right? So long story long, y'all, days later, days later, Dakota B was no more. Okay. Just a couple months of going to and fro caused my baby to just give up. Now, there's a whole scandal that came along with that, but we're not going to worry about that too much. Did she turn up the volume on me? We're just not going to worry about that, you know. But long story long, I feel like they turned the volume up on me. I guess I didn't want to hear my story, whatever. Did she turn the volume up on me? Girl, I don't know why I feel like that, but whatever. I hope you can hear me still, y'all. But long story long, that's what we had to do, y'all. Um, my mom felt, long story long, my mom felt so bad about this car situation that she ended up getting me another car. She sure did. She got me a whole nother car because she was like, I knew better than to let you spend your money like that. So after this whole thing, I ended up getting my first official car. And from there, y'all, the rest was history. Now, our final episode is gonna be about we're gonna wrap this series up. We're gonna wrap this series up and we're gonna call it that. With that being said, y'all, because I don't know if y'all be able to hear me. I'll try and cancel out. I mean, they're jamming. And maybe it's that time, they're vibing now right now, but I really feel like whatever, it doesn't matter. With that being said, y'all, I got to go. I got to go. I got another video before I gotta get on. So yes. Moral of the story, if you're gonna make a big purchase, please do the research. Don't waste your time, your money, and your sanity or your safety. Your safety. Don't waste your safety trying to rush, cut a corner. At the end of the day, I could have definitely did myself dirty. But anyway, whatever, whatever. With that being said, y'all, if you haven't done so, like, comment below how TT's out here whipping this shit. If you feel inclined, if you feel led, tap that notification bell. Come join the crew, baby. Y'all have a good one. All right.
I am sorry, my mentor. I have failed you.